If I could persuade you, your entire world would change.
The veil removed. This is the ineffable secret, the ultimate illumination.
Tonight it is my purpose to show you that God and the eye of man are one.
Buckle your seat belts and pin down your wigs. There's going to be some holy turbulence here. Here we go.
You hear the word God, the word Jehovah, the word Lord, the word Jesus, the word Christ, and you think of something other than yourself.
And I am suggesting the heresy to you that the beloved Son of God is not just an historic personality, but the one relationship of every man to God. Because most of you Christians believe that Jesus is God's only kid and the rest of us are bastards. But there is only one difference between every man and Jesus. Only one. And again, it is in the area of that word consciousness. What makes Jesus the Son of God? The fact that Jesus was conscious of his divine one-ship sonship.
The key to peace and power. You are God. Those are the three magic words.
I am Jesus.
Now, that's scary stuff for a lot of people. We weren't raised to believe that. I'm not saying that you ought to go out into the world and say, excuse me, but you know who you're talking to. That I am God. And
Heresy, not from the standpoint of Jesus. The disciples said, Lord, teach us to pray. And the very first word of the Lord's Prayer that Jesus taught them to pray was to say, what hour?
if you will accept this towering truth and dare to stand atop this magnificent pinnacle, universal consciousness will be revealed to you from within. God is there. It is He who peers from behind your eyes, who is your own consciousness, who is your very self. You are not just a part of God, you are altogether God. And God is altogether you.
Who left you out? The theologians wrote you out.
There's another word that Jesus used in the New Testament, and this is the God I speak of, quoting him. God is love. And he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in me, and I in him.
I'm God, you God.
But why talk about this? Is it interesting? Is it important?
There's nothing so important in the world as coming awake, nothing. And there's nothing so delightful as being aware.
For the human being to realize that in some sense of the word, whatever it means, he is God or one with God.
Learning again what it's like to become the God that you already are, but now the God becomes less in a state of potential and more in a state of activation.
So be it. Be divine.
Believe in God?
Oh, yes.
Do you now believe in God?
Now? Difficult to answer. I know. I don't need to believe. I know.
So are all God, or are all source. We use those words frequently when you ask us to. We don't use the God word so much because you have mindsets about what you think God is, and it doesn't jive with what we know.
God is love, pure, unconditional, blissful, divine love. That's who you are.
Man thinks God is petty and immature and punishing, and that you should be God-fearing.
God has nothing else to give you.
Are you kidding? God-fearing? Why would you fear this energy that adores you, that holds only well-being for you?
Everybody, every human being and life form is an expression of that one formless and timeless one life. And that is beyond anything that could be destroyed. It's life itself. It has no opposite. Death is not the opposite of life. Death is the opposite of birth. And birth and death apply to the forms that appear on the surface of the sphere.
Yet it is fundamentally shapeless. It has no shape.
Yes, there is nothing inside you. Maybe you must put a hyphen between no and thing. There is a no thing.
And the consciousness you are is just like that. It has no particular shape. No particular name belongs to it. No particular form belongs to it.
So it neither is or isn't. It is not the way you understand life. It is not the way you perceive existence right now, because your perception of existence is purely physical. It is as small as it can be, as anything can be, and it is as boundless as anything can be.
But it assumes all the names and the forms, temporarily, momentarily.
It is not an actor. It is not this nor that. It is not it.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't...
Your very being here is a make-believe happening.
Shut him up! We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up! Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. This has to be real.
It is just a gathered existence.
It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter, because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer.